This is Rohan, and today, I'm going to be making my comeback with my end of 2024 video, where I'm going to be covering the games that I played in my own time. That's going to be the main focus. There's definitely a decent amount there. Not as much as last year, because we only have the one video this time, rather than having two for the first and second half. There's definitely some good reasons for that. One of my games took a long time to beat. I was focusing a lot on my playthroughs. I think a lot of them needed practice playthroughs too, and also I think I was just watching my brother play a lot. There's definitely a very good reason why. So yeah. Anyway, like I said, 2024. I think it was a pretty decent year in terms of playing games. Like I said, I didn't play as much as last year. I felt like. But there were definitely some cool things I did. I've been actually logging what I've been playing, both on my channel and in my own time on backlog. That's because one of my friends did, and he's going to be quite an important person to talk about because he's also been, logging games. I've been learning a lot about what he's been playing, and he played some games that I did. And that'll be important, like I said later. So it'll make more sense later, obviously. So yeah. So there's that. And I'll continue to do that into 2025 as well. That's going to be a very fun time, obviously. So yeah, it's very, very interesting to log games like this. I will say, thinking about how you felt about them too, because you can write reviews about them, how much you would rate them and stuff, all that good stuff. So yeah, like I said, it was a very fun time to do that this year with all the games I played. That also includes the games I played on the channel as well. So yeah, that was cool. Anyway. So like I said, we're going to be looking at the games I played in my own time, although we're going to be actually starting off with a lightning round of sorts. These are basically games I felt don't need their own big section, and the main reason why is external. There's a couple of factors basically. I think for each game, my little lightning round, they have their own reasons, so let's just get on to it. So I think one of the main things that made this year for me is that my brother started to buy a lot of games on Steam. So with his desktop, so that was a lot of fun. Definitely meant that I got to lay my eyes on a lot of different games. That was obviously very cool to learn about. It also meant that you could also get some games that we could share basically as well. Let's start with one of those, and that's Castle Crashers. So the reason why it's not getting its own section, we didn't 100% this game because it has, I think it's insane mode, the highest difficulty. We still haven't touched that yet, so we just did the normal difficulty cafe with a bunch of different characters. Obviously, just as fun as it was in the past. When I played this on the 360, that was definitely a fun time. Again, it's a very solid beat-em-up game. I do like the difficulty too. It's a very easy game to pick up and play, but also very difficult to master. There's a lot of advanced techniques for comboing and stuff that I'm definitely not good at, but that's okay. I can get by with my basic combos basically. And of course, that's multiplayer. Your friend can help you out, but also you can battle your friend too. It's quite a lot, and decently competitive as well. So I'm quite a big fan of this game. Obviously, who knows? Maybe we'll get back to it at some point. Just that, we do have a lot of other multiplayer games I like to play. Speaking of which, let's go on to that next game, Street Fighter 6. So, this is the game that got me into, general fighting games. I always played Smash, obviously, but Street Fighter 6, definitely made me a fan of the genre. It's just so much fun to, battle my brother, despite, getting a little bit tilted sometimes, and that's okay. It is what it is when you're new to the genre, I guess. But So like I said, very fun game to learn. I think one of the main things about it is the fact that it has modern controls. A little bit decisive on some people I find, but it means that special inputs only require a direction, or not even a direction sometimes, and a special button. That makes things way easier to use because of course the special moves are quite important. So this just makes the characters easy to learn. Also, the amount of buttons they have is a lot less as well. You only have one light, medium, and heavy attack rather than a punch and a kick for light, medium, heavy as well. So of course, the main thing about this is that it means that Street Fighter 6 on modern controls is a lot more controller friendly. Compared to maybe needing to use either a more specialized controller or a gamepad basically, with like the stick and the 6 buttons. So yeah, that's obviously very convenient for us. So yeah, and yeah, that's all I did. It has a very good story mode, but of course that was my brother's focus. So yeah, who knows? Maybe one day I'll be able to check it out and see how cool it is. But yeah, it is fun because you can make your own character, explore the world and stuff. It's pretty nice. And yeah, from one video I watched too, actually a great way to learn about playing games as well. So yeah. So Street Fighter 6 is a very cool game, and yeah, a lot of great characters to play as well. It was actually interesting. I felt like now I prefer the Rushdown characters. I used to really like playing the grapplers, but yeah, someone like Cammy I feel like is someone I really like to play now. Before I like to use the grapplers, but now yeah, I like to use someone like Cammy, like I said. Luke is also like one of my favorite characters to play too. He's obviously the guy in the box art, so it makes sense that he'd be pick up and play, very fun and satisfying to use. Those are definitely the two main characters that come to mind, and yeah, the DLC is also pretty cool. DLC characters should be saying, and yeah, of course the next one's gonna be one I'm very excited for, my Shirin Nivi. I can't wait to try her out and see how good I can be with that. So yeah. So Street Fighter 6, yeah, definitely a game I could definitely see me and my brother continue to play. So yeah, very, very fun game, that one. And yeah, if you want to get to fighting games, I have to say it's a pretty good start. And yeah, like I said, it made me a fan of the genre. That's why, yeah, I did that Alpha 3 video, and why I've been watching so many fighting game videos. So yeah, it's a quite important game to be honest, despite, yeah, having its like little own lightning round here. But anyway, this will be short, and that's Persona 2 in Sin, because I did beat it in my own time, but I don't feel like I want to talk about it in its own section, and of course that's because I'm playing on the channel. I obviously want to save all my thoughts for the end of that playthrough. And yeah, I guess you could say something similar with Eternal Punishment, but yeah, I'm actually still doing my main playthrough of Eternal Punishment, so yeah. So yeah, that's the simple reason why, yeah, again, this is the Sin I'm going to be talking about here. But I really liked my first playthrough, and I can't wait to, share that magic once again in my actual playthrough. So yeah. And yeah, also having a feel with Eternal Punishment 2, definitely feels like, yeah, I do think that these games are very worth checking out, even if, yeah, you prefer the modern Persona games. So yeah. And who knows, maybe they'll get remade one day. We'll see how people feel about that. So yeah. Anyway, last game I want to talk about here is Sonic X Shadow Generations. So yeah, my brother did pick this up at the end of the year. How this went was my brother played through all of Shadow Generations, getting 100%. That was a very fun and interesting game to see. I didn't actually get to play it myself, unfortunately, but I still wanted to at least chat about it here a little bit, because I was watching him play through all of it. I really like the levels. The level design seem actually pretty decent as well. And then, yeah, Shadow just seems like a very fun character in this game as well. His abilities are very interesting, even they control a little bit weirdly sometimes. And yeah, Jerry Sikin though, yeah, he just feels like, yeah, a treat to control. It's one of the better 3D Sonic characters, I guess, control-wise. So yeah, that's great. And of course, boss battles are pretty interesting too, and there's a decent amount to do as well. Higher difficulties, lots of collectibles in the overworld, all that good stuff. But anyway, and also a good story too. It definitely gave the character Shadow a lot of justice, I feel like, and it's a great send-off to his past, I feel like. I feel like now he's able to, move on from that. So yeah. It's a great way to, share that. And of course, yeah, a great way to end the year Shadow alongside the Sonic 3 movie, which apparently people are saying is really good as well. But anyway, while I didn't play that, I did get to play a little bit of Sonic Generations. How this worked is that, yeah, I was mainly playing the classic Sonic levels. The 2D, obviously. I would say classic Sonic doesn't actually control that badly, to be honest. He feels actually pretty decent. So yeah. So now be a big fan of him. And then my brother's mainly take on modern stuff, although we did decide that, yeah, for the upcoming rival and boss battles, I'll be doing the easier difficulty, and my brother would be taking on the higher difficulty. So yeah, that means I get my taste on modern Sonic with those, so that's cool. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, I'm definitely enjoying myself with that. Still need to complete it, obviously, and then maybe I'll put it on backlog, I guess we'll see. It's just that, yeah, again, I don't know if I feel like I should do that, because I'm only playing like a very small fraction, considering that my brother played through all of Shadow Generations, so yeah. So I'm not so sure. But I still want to at least mention it here because I at least played a little bit, so yeah. Anyway, that should be all the games in the lightning round, so yeah, let's move on to the actual games now. For our first game today, let's look at Street Supremacy for the PlayStation Portable. So this game is a handheld version of Tokyo Extreme Racer, basically. Although it does have its own, unique charms to it, shall we say. So yeah, once again, it's a racing game set in Tokyo. You have actually quite a lot of Tokyo in this game. You've got the C1, Shinkancho, Wangon, and Yokane lines, so yeah. You definitely got a very rich Tokyo in this one, even the same size as Tokyo Extreme Racer 3 as well, so that's cool. The main thing is that there's no free roaming. I think it is because, again, this is a portable racing game, so of course, probably not enough space for the free roaming, but also because of probably this game's main gimmick. So, when you start things up, you actually have to join one of 3 pre-existing teams. Now, here there is a small downside, is the fact that only really one team is good to pick at the start, the Road of Justice, because everything else would be too difficult to get to the top. And what does that mean? Well, what you want to do is you want to make it to the team leader. How you do that is you defeat the other team members in your new team. Then once you do that, you can face a team leader, and if you beat them, you become the leader of the team. And then once you do that, that's how the game really begins. So, how this game works is, of course, your main objective is actually to take over all of Tokyo with your team. And to do that, you invade different areas under different teams' control. And yeah, you do that and take it over, make it your own team, and on the way, recruit people. You can recruit people by racing them, obviously, and you can even recruit wanderers this way as well if you fulfill their specific requirements. So that's also pretty interesting as well. Well, as is happening to other teams that are trying to recruit as well, maybe from your own territories, so you need to be a bit careful of that. Or, recruiting up wanderers on their own, which is actually quite interesting. And that will save you a bit of time for some wanderers, although for all the higher tier wanderers, you're going to need to fight them on your own. So yeah. So that's the setup. Again, it's very unique, especially for this series. Because again, Tokyo Extreme is known for just, you're basically on your own, defeating teams, getting the team leader a bit, and then progressing. Yeah, though, yeah, it's all about teamwork, and yeah, it is very unique, like I said, and also ties into other elements too, like, yeah, taking over a territory requires that, yeah, you use your team, you can use the people you recruit, and then, yeah, you can do a big battle against the other team to take over their territory, or, you can solo it too. That actually gives you a cash bonus if you're feeling, gutsy. So that's awesome. So again, yeah, definitely has its own unique charm. So that's obviously very nice to, see in action. Couple that with actually some decent driving as well, because yeah, the cars actually feel very decent. In Street Supremacy, it does take a little bit of time to get used to, I feel like. Because yeah, again, these Tokyo Extreme Racer games, they do feel a little bit strange. Cars definitely feel like they have a lot of heft to them, I guess. So, I think compared to other games, they feel a bit more grippy, so it's a bit easier to actually, put them under control. So yeah, that's why I feel like, yeah, this game is probably a decent starting point, to be honest, for Tokyo Extreme Racer, which is pretty cool. Because again, it's one of the easier games to handle, so yeah, there's that. So yeah, that's mainly all there is to say, although there is definitely some other pretty neat things as well. Like for example, once you do get 200% completion, you can do a New Game Plus, and if you do that, you can actually join any of the starting teams. You only had 3 on New Game or New Game Plus, yeah, you got all of them, and of course you can carry over Garage as well. So yeah, you can definitely have a fun power trip with your favorite team, and that's obviously very cool. So, and definitely decently replayable as well, so yeah, I'm definitely a pretty big fan of that. And yeah, that's really it. It does look pretty decent for a PSP game, I find, as well. Not too shabby there as well. It's just that, yeah, it does run at a lower frame rate, only at 30 FPS. Some other racing games can clock in at 60 for the PSP, so that could be a bit of a downside depending on who you ask, but it's okay. Again, like I said, a very neat game. Of course, I did want to try it out after, last year, where I played a lot of Tokyo Extreme Racing games, including Drift 2, Zero, 3, Import Tuner Challenge. So yeah, definitely am quite the knowledgeable person of the series, which is obviously exciting because there's two things to obviously look forward to. One we'll talk about a bit later, and also Racing Battle C1 Grand Prix, which has gotten its first translation patch. It's still under work, but once it is fully translated, I really want to check that game out. Dude, that game awesome. It's awesome this one. So yeah, that's a cool Street Supremacy, like I said, a very fun little PSP racing game, and a very nice take on portable Tokyo Extreme Racer. So that's obviously very nice to see. Great to see one of my favorite racing game series getting a very unique title on the portable handheld. So yeah, that'll be that. So yeah, let's go on to our next game then. Now let's look at all the RPGs I decided to play this year, and that'll be Trails from Zero. So this is the start of the Crossbell arc for Falcon's very long-running Trails series, and it comes off the Sky Trilogy, making it the fourth game of the series because of that. So yeah, I wanted to get into Crossbell because I've heard very good things about it. Crossbell is a very well-liked arc by Trails fans, and also if I want to commit to more of the series, it's probably wise to look into more of these games, especially an arc that is so well liked. And also because I was pretty familiar with Sky, thanks to watching a Sky the Third playthrough, and also getting some recaps on first and second chapter. So yeah. So this game, a very interesting one, shall we say, a very good one as well. I was thinking of doing a whole video about it, but I feel like I got my thunder stolen because on Backlog, one of my friends made a review and I replied to it and I basically exhausted everything I wanted to talk about. So yeah, I felt like making a video was unnecessary, which is a bit of a shame, but hey, maybe we can make up for that later with Azure potentially, or maybe even think about an entirely different way of making that video. A podcast maybe? We'll think about it. I wouldn't mind doing that with all of my fellow Trails fans that I contact. So yeah, again, we'll see. But for right now, let's actually just talk about Zero for a little bit. Because I really liked it, and might as well talk a little bit about it in this end of the video. So, I really liked the gameplay actually. It was definitely interesting to go back to this because, it is before the Cold Steel games. The Cold Steel games would refine a couple of things. Quartz comes to mind, for example. And the link system too kind of refined a few things from Zero as well. But other than that, it's very rock solid. Like, you still got, moving around on the grid, terminal to think about, all that good stuff, arts across as well. Those were really well done as well. I think we'll talk more about that when we get to the cast. Yeah, again, I just really like battling in this game, and also everything else about it too. Like the exploration stuff, we'll get more into that. So yeah, like I said, battling is solid. I think I play on normal mode. I think that's my standard for Trails, to be honest. Because I'm pretty sure I did that for Cold too. Difficulty felt actually really well done throughout. Like, not too hard, but then when I did muck up, it definitely got a lot more difficult, but of course that would be my fault, so yeah. So no problem there. So yeah, like I said, battling is solid. I think one of the main reasons why is the cost. So, the structure of this game is interesting, because it actually just focuses on a core party of four. Lloyd Bannings, the cop, Ellie McDowell, the mayor's daughter, but also mage of some sort. She's like one of the mages alongside Pia Plateau. Computer expert, I guess, and also one of the best, probably the best caster in my opinion. And then finally, Randy Orlando, the womanizer of sorts. Also one of the best womanizers ever because of his other side, shall we say. This is a great cast, by the way. Like, I like the fact that it is a cast of four. It just felt, I guess, more simple to build up the characters and stuff. All I need to do is only think about their equipment and their quartz. I guess one thing about Cold Steel is that, you need to think about a whole large cast. So then that meant that, yeah, you had to put in a lot of work thinking about quartz and equipment here. You had to put in that. So that was nice. And it still felt, satisfying building up this large roster. I think also because it is, roster 4, basically everything gets covered, so you don't feel like you're missing out on stuff, which is definitely nice. I feel like maybe sometimes in Cold Steel I either forgot some things or wasn't taking advantage of some things because I don't know, I just wasn't thinking about it, I guess. Cold Steel 1 doesn't have that problem as much because of our structure, but yeah, I'm getting off topic, so let's go back on topic. So again, like I said, I really like this core party of 4, but I don't mind if, things expand in Azure or other games in the series. So yeah, because I still love Cold Steel and how it's constructed. So yeah, so that's the main party for obviously. And like I said, I do like how simplified it makes it to think about quartz, think about equipment, all that good stuff. And yeah, like I said, each character too has a very important role to fulfill. You obviously got Lloyd, simple physical attacker, also has some decent support capabilities. Thanks to encouragement, or encourage, I think it's just what it's called, that boosts everyone's strength. Ellie, have a caster, but also very good support unit, probably the best in the game actually, because she can recover CP, and that's obviously great for Lloyd because he spams physical cross, same with Randy. So yeah. And then yeah, like I said, Tio, probably my favorite party member, that's maybe because of plot, but and Bao, yeah, she's also really good. Across are very neat, but the main thing she is doing tons of damage at once. So yeah, and that was very useful later on, I felt like. And by Randy, very solid character, especially early on. He has a delay craft, so you can impede the enemy. You can even lock down some enemies, I'm pretty sure, with that craft. And his flash grenades too can blind. And there's a lot of enemies that blind is very good against. It also ties it to actually a new mechanic that Zero would introduce. The fact that if you evade, you counter-attack the enemy. That's a really cool thing. And yeah, Cold Steel would expand on that even more. So yeah, it's a great new mechanic, great to see in action. Yeah. So you have a very strong cast of characters and a very fun battle system. But I think what puts Trails of Zero over the edge for me is basically everything else. Mainly actually not gameplay wise. Like yeah, the other gameplay things like quests and stuff, they're fine. I really like doing those as well. But I think the main thing, of course, when I think about why I love Trails of Zero, it's two main things. That's of course the plot and the music. Let's go with the music first because it's pretty simple. I think that yeah, we might have probably one of my favorite soundtracks in any game period from Trails of Zero. And that's saying a lot because yeah, I love musical art games, but yeah, there's so many tracks to this game that are just great to listen to. But also, pretty much every track in this game fits the situation so well. Like, yeah, you got some cozy music when you're in town, when you're on, a simple walk. But then the intensity ramps up when you get near the end of the game or explore a dangerous dungeon. And seeing on dungeons, a bell that cannot ring that plays in, I believe, the Moon Palace or something like that. That is probably my favorite dungeon theme in any game ever, or at least it's one of them. So yeah, I recommend. I'm pretty sure I'm probably gonna put it somewhere in this video when I edit it. So yeah, definitely worth a listen to, I shall say. And then you also got some amazing battle themes. I think the boss themes are really tied into why I like this soundtrack so much. Again, you have very good. Every boss theme sounds really good, but also they fit the threat of the enemy so well as well. Like yeah, Arrest the Criminal, your basic mini boss theme, but then after that you get to the end of the game and then the Bullet Drive starts playing. And that's when the intensity really ramps up for these really dangerous encounters. But then there's also Inevitable Struggle, which is used for epic battles because the music's so epic. So yeah, again, I love this soundtrack and definitely worth listening to if you want some good music to listen to, obviously. So yeah. I can't wait to see if Azure, tops it, I guess. And then after that, of course, is the plot. So, character-wise, this game is excellent. The main full cast works so well together. And also, everyone, you feel for everyone in this cast too. Like, all the struggles, yeah, I was feeling that. Especially with my favorite character, probably Tio. Because, yeah, her backstory, man, that definitely made me tear up a lot. Here we go. Not as much as another character, but that's spoilers, so yeah, we're not going to be talking about them. I think someone like Randy. Like, yeah, Randy might seem like, a basic, laid back kind of character, but when you see his darker side, it's interesting. But also, I really liked how he reacted to other characters too. Like, yeah, when Tio talked about her backstory, Randy's reaction to it, that got me, I must admit. So yeah, again, I think in terms of character, it probably goes like Tio, Randy, Ellie, and Lloyd. At the moment, at least, because yeah, they're gonna definitely change things. So yeah, we'll get into that later. And then after that, the plot itself. It's interesting because you're playing as a group of cops basically, and you're basically investigating things. But what I really like is how the threats of the plot are built up. Like, yeah, the main threat of the plot, it's surprising how early in the game it's actually a factor, but also how it's built up as well. And it crescendos into probably one of the greatest finales in any RPG, period. So, yeah. Definitely something worth checking out once again, yeah. This game, yeah, it's probably one of the highest tier RPGs I felt like. I don't know if I'd say it's like one of my favorites because, yeah, it doesn't have, the nostalgia, I guess, like compared to some of my favorite RPGs. But even still, though, I think, like, story-wise, though, it's near the top at least. Gameplay-wise, I say it's, still rock solid. I feel like, yeah, other Trails games are bad, but yeah. What this game did with its plot, as well as the things that I mentioned because of spoilers, yeah, it's definitely one of the greatest out there, and definitely one game I keep saying definitely recommend checking out, reading people's reviews if you want to, but be careful with spoilers, obviously. So yeah, and of course, yeah, I keep mentioning Azure as well. Yeah, I decided to get Azure for Christmas, so yeah, that's gonna be a game I think about for next year, and I'm probably gonna be singing its praises too. But yeah, I can't wait to potentially do that, and who knows, maybe we'll do it in a cool way. Like I said, who knows, maybe a podcast. I guess we'll see. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, yeah, this is definitely one of the biggest games of the year, and that's actually kind of crazy to think about because yeah, you have this game that has almost the perfect plot, very solid gameplay, and exceptional cast, and it's only one of the biggest games I've played this year. Yeah, definitely been a lot of interesting games this year. Those two big games, yeah, we'll get into those in a bit, but I think right now let's go on a detour because I decided to look at the entirely new game series. So let's check it out. Now let's look at Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. So yeah, I got into Resident Evil this year, so I decided that yeah, I'd try out one of the games. And yeah, I wanted to try one of the classic games and land on RE3 as a result. I think there's two main reasons why. I think the character Jill Valentine was really fascinating. You play as an RE1, and then she comes back in this game and she needs to make a last escape from Raccoon City. In fact, yeah, in Japan, this game's called Biohazard Free Last Escape. So, yeah, they're definitely very leaning into this last escape aspect. And yeah, this also ties in very nicely to the atmosphere of this game, too. Like, yeah, you had RE2, which also takes place in the same place, but you're traversing through the police station, so you don't really get an idea of how bad things are outside. That's where RE3 comes in. You're exploring basically everywhere in Raccoon City, the town and some of the outer areas of it. So you definitely feel just how bad things are gone because of the T virus and stuff like that. So yeah. Yeah, you start off with the ruined streets, zombies everywhere. Just yeah, really fills you with suspense and tenseness, I guess you could say. And yeah, you can definitely feel that yeah, things are so moody as well. I think also the music does a very good job. Like yeah, you have the blowing of the wind to start with. In those streets, yeah, definitely feels like a very moody atmosphere because of it. And of course, I think another thing I like about the music, There's some very good tracks, obviously. The safe room theme, easily one of my favorites as well. Also, just ties well into the mood of this game as well. This is a very sad, depressing game, I feel like, as well. And something like the safe room music really, ties into it. Of course, there's probably more to it than that, but we'll get into that in a bit. And yeah, again, I mentioned Jill. Obviously, I think she ties it greatly to this atmosphere as well. Again, she's not perfect because her opening monologue is a bit interesting, shall we say. But other than that, though, very well done character, and how she ends up is very interesting too. Like, yeah, you definitely feel for her for all the trials she has to go through. And yeah, it definitely feels like, yeah, you're scraping by, I guess you could say as well, because of a certain someone. And then by the end, yeah, you get the very satisfying payoff, obviously. We'll talk about that in a bit. But anyway, gameplay wise, it's interesting. I did play on easy mode. There's an easy and a hard mode. Hard mode's basically normal mode, but yeah. Easy mode gives you more ammo, so to be fair, it does make the gameplay more like an action game, but there's no problem with that, considering that, yeah, Ari would go into that direction with RE4, so it's fine, I guess. But I've seen people definitely play this game on normal mode, and yeah, I can definitely feel that, yeah, it does, feel survival horror. It definitely feels like survival horror. Maybe not as much as RE1 or even RE2 in some aspect, the classic versions of those, but still decent. Like, yeah, enemies can be ignored, although you do get a decent ammo to take them on if you need to. It's just that, yeah, there are definitely some surprising encounters. I feel like, yeah, this game has a decent amount of jump scare modes, to be honest, and there's just a lot of enemies to deal with too, so yeah, I can definitely see why people are like, I don't know if this is true survival horror. Like, yeah, I did watch one video where it was a bit more critical in that aspect, but I think overall it's pretty solid. Atmosphere-wise, it definitely feels like it. Gameplay-wise, it's definitely alright in that regard. And I think together, yeah, you definitely feel like, yeah, this is a horror game. This is definitely feels like survival horror. But I think what pushes RE3 over the edge for a lot of people is, of course, the other part of the the game's title, Nemesis. So Nemesis is the first true stalking villain, even in survival horror history, I'm pretty sure. At least in RE. You encounter him at the police station, at the front gates, and then after that, he'll randomly pop up and chase after you, unless you defeat him. On easy mode, it's not too bad because you have lots of ammo, but of course on hard mode, you don't have as much. So running away is a good idea, unless you really want to get those parts from him. And that's definitely kind of a weird aspect about him. Like, yeah, you've got this dude that you want to run away from, but he drops things, and you also get a decent ammo, so yeah. It kind of feels like you should fight him, but that's okay. Other than that, though, he's amazing. Like, yeah, his presence is intimidating. Whenever he shows up, it's always a fright. He just, does so well as a stalker type enemy, especially, this early back. Um, and yeah, definitely the most fun part of this game. And yeah, the thing always feels so satisfying, especially later on. Like, yeah, early on, he definitely feels like the threat that he is. But once you, figure things out, like with the freeze rounds and stuff, using those against them, and then, yeah, being him down at the very end are so satisfying, obviously. I definitely really like Nemesis. I think he's very well done in this game. Like I said, again, he's not perfect as a stalker villain. I feel like a certain other RE game probably does a better designed stalker villain, but yeah, Nemesis is just super memorable. So I really like what he's all about. So yeah, and definitely adds to why this game is, so memorable. So yeah, definitely a big fan of that. So yeah, like I said, I had a fun time with this one again. It was definitely a bit of a learning experience. I definitely died a couple of times, even on easy mode, where I decided to push things too far. You do get infinite saves thanks to easy mode too, because you have an infinite use ink ribbon. That's obviously decently useful, but I didn't need to resort to save states, which is kind of interesting. So again, things not too hard here, so that's nice. And it allowed me to enjoy the atmosphere, the character of Jill, Nemesis, all that good stuff, and also the combat too. Like, yeah, again, fighting is pretty simple. You also got the tank controls to deal with too. That can make evading a little bit difficult, especially early on for me. So yeah, I was mainly gunning things down. But hey, with a lot of ammo, that's not too bad, obviously. So yeah. And of course, I think another interesting aspect is the customization. Some items are randomly generated. I think the most simplest example is what weapon you get in the police station. It's either a magnet or the rocket launcher. Not rocket launcher, grenade launcher. Um, and yeah, I think most people like the grenade launcher there, for example. I think speedrunners need that grenade launcher, so they reset if the magnet is there. It's not a great game to speedrun because of all the RNG involved, but that's okay. And also, you can customize your experience too, and that's thanks to the crafting system. You get these gunpowders, you can mix them together to make different kinds of gunpowder, and with the mixing tool. So there are definitely interesting ways to think about this. If you mix enough, you can make special ammo for certain weapons, like yeah, mix enough handgun ammo, you can make the special handgun ammo, for example, or you could save that gunpowder to make um, rounds with green ultra. It's very interesting to think about. Definitely one of the coolest ways ammo's done in classic RE, I feel like. So yeah. So overall, yeah, a very solid RE game. I really enjoyed the gameplay in the end, even if it was a little bit difficult at points to learn about and stuff. Again, attack controls, yeah. RE3 definitely does make things a bit easier because of the quick turn. That is definitely a very good mechanical change. But yeah, attack controls did mean that yeah, I was mostly gunning things down, but it's okay. Better safe than sorry, I guess, especially when you have a lot of ammo to play with. So yeah. So that's fine. It is what it is because I am a newcomer and I was on ease mode obviously. So yeah, now I'm just kind of repeating things. But yeah, like I said, if you do want to check out a classic RE game, this is not a bad choice. RE2 is also a good choice. And yeah, I was definitely thinking of playing RE2 as well, but as it turned out, I would get my wish, just not how I was expecting it. And that nicely leads us on to Resident Evil 2. Although this is actually the remake of Resident Evil 2. So, how did this come about? So, my brother actually decided to get Resident Evil 2 for his desktop. So, I watched them play through Claire A, and that was a very interesting experience, obviously. Getting to see, RE in 3D for the first time, getting to see how this game's take on survival horror was, and that was pretty fun. But then my brother had an interesting proposition. How about I play through Leon B? So yeah, I'm like, alright, why not? And I even decided to amp things up by going on normal. Probably not the smartest thing in the world considering what I was experienced with RE3, with its easy mode, lots of ammo to play with, and all that. But I thought that, yeah, why not? I could be up to a challenge, and of course, this game has an adaptive difficulty system, so if you're struggling, using up too much ammo and stuff, then the game makes things a little bit easier on you, sometimes. So this is an interesting experience. If you're wondering what the difference between A and B route are, it's not much to be honest. B route makes things more open, so you can actually get through the game a bit quicker because of that. I think most speedrunners prefer the B route because of that. Things are less linear compared to A, and of course things are changed up a little bit, generally to make things harder. One example is of course Mr. X, but we'll talk about him later. So yeah, this is true survival horror. Like yeah, something akin to RE1 and its remake. Like yeah, enemies are terrifying to take on. You probably shouldn't, to be honest. Like yeah, you have weapons, but yeah, it's better to save those weapons for when you actually have to fight. If you can avoid combat, you definitely should. This is a survival horror game, that's actual. Ammo is super limited, healing is also super limited. So yeah, definitely, like I said, dodge things, especially liquors. Yeah, liquors in RE2, the original, you could just shotgun them and they're not too bad, or acid if you're Claire. But here though, in the remake, they are HP sponges. So yeah, even with something as powerful as the shotgun. So yeah, you want to stay clear with them. Luckily though, the game does give you some ways to help evade. You could actually walk, and a lot of enemies are susceptible to this. They will not notice you if you walk very slowly. This is great, especially against Lickers. Lickers are the main enemy type. This is great against because if you look at the design, you may notice they don't have any eyes. So or ears for that matter, they mainly sense you through footsteps, basically. I mean, yeah, I said they have no ears, but I said footsteps. You can't get what I mean. It also means that yeah, they really don't like the flash grenade either. That definitely one of the interesting parts. And yeah, Lickers were very interesting in the original RE2, and yeah, the remake definitely gives it justice, and that's why I talked about it for so long. So yeah, that does see that there is less combat to enjoy as a result, but hey, that's alright because the boss fights do amp things up quite a bit. They're a lot more interesting compared to OG RE2. Especially because, yeah, they're more dynamic and they're more dynamic is the main thing. Like, yeah, they have interesting attacks, and some of them require some different ways to defeat them other than just shooting them down. So, yeah. So that's interesting. So, yeah, again, combat still feels pretty good. And, yeah, it is a bit different because, yeah, you had the auto aiming on for, you had the auto aiming for the tank control based classic REs, but here you actually have to aim. And it's not too bad as well. Most of the time, yeah, go for those headshots. Those are very useful, obviously. So, yeah, I definitely did a lot of that. So, yeah, that's the main gameplay stuff. And again, like I said, this is definitely a true survival horror experience. So, if you're looking for something like that, I definitely recommend this. Like, yeah, this is a very good modern take on it. And in fact, yeah, RE does a very good job when it comes to that. If you want a classic survival horror experience, you have RE1 Remake. That's definitely the best when it comes to the tank controls, but also give you that the tank controls and the fixed camera angles alongside the survival horror aspects. Then there's obviously RE7. That's first person and also put RE back on the map when it comes to survival horror. And then if you want third person, well, you got this game. So yeah, you got all covers based. You got all bases covered when it comes to RE and survival horror. And then everything else has a different flavor of survival horror, basically. Like, yeah, you got like the OG RE2, which is definitely a bit more lenient. You can definitely have a bit of fun fighting enemies. You don't just have to run past everything, so yeah. So yeah, that's interesting to think about. Yeah, both the original and the remake definitely had their own reasons to be played, I felt like. Especially after my experience with, yeah, both RE3, the original, and RE2's remake. Anyway, talked a lot about the gameplay, so let's go into the plot. And I actually really liked it too. Again, it's a great retelling of the OG RE2. I know that some people don't like some of the dialogue. People like to swear in this game a lot, but I don't mind too much. I thought that, yeah, it kind of fits the situation and how bad things are because, yeah, I did say that, yeah, RE3 did a good job of showing how bad things were outside Raccoon City, but yeah, this game definitely does a good job to show how bad things are in the police station, so yeah. Like, yeah, atmosphere, yeah, very oppressive. Especially considering all the darkness in this game, too. And things only get worse as you move on and fight more terrifying things, and also learn more about the main villains, I guess you could say. And also, you know, encountering Mr. G and all that. Oh, yeah, we should talk about Mr. X in a bit, too, because I mentioned that. But anyway. So, like I said, I like the characters. I like how the plot went, too. Like, each character had interesting things they had to go through because, yeah, Claire has her own character that she tags along with, same with Leon. I like the chemistry between them, and yeah, you even get some different gameplay scenarios too. I guess I could mention that a little bit. Yeah, Claire gets to be with Sherry, the little girl that she used to look after and help out in the end. Then Leon gets Ada Wong. Ada Wong is very interesting, very mysterious, and I liked her portrayal in this game quite a bit. So yeah. And yeah, things do end off in a great way too. And yeah, if you do go through both A and B, you even get an extra boss fight at the end. And things wrap up very nicely as well because of that. So yeah, like I said, really like the plot. I did talk about one other gameplay thing that was a big improvement over the original, Mr. X. So he's more like Nemesis now. When compared to his OG RE2 incarnation, he kind of just popped up. You can either dodge him or kill him for bullets. You know, he's oppressive. He will stalk you throughout a lot of the game, even more so on the B route. And the thing of is not worth it. He doesn't even drop anything, he'll just respawn. So you need to dodge him. It's quite difficult sometimes, but even he has some things he can do. He does react to gunshots, so if you're not shooting things, he probably won't chase you. He'll probably still find a way to find you, but that's okay. He's a very well done Stalker type enemy, I must say. Probably even better than RE3 Nemesis in some regards. It's just that, yeah, he's not as interesting looking, I guess, because he's just a dude in a suit, but he's still definitely oppressive. When compared to, yeah. And yeah, the modern sensibilities, I guess, also make him a bit more terrifying when compared to OG Nemesis. But OG Nemesis is still, a classic, so yeah. Maybe because of that design, and yeah, he still feels terrifying even nowadays. So yeah. Both of them are great Stalker type birds. I think mechanically speaking, Mr. X is better, but I think Nemesis is probably more terrifying on a conceptual level. I think that's how to summarize it. So yeah, as it turned out, yeah, I quite like RE. Maybe I'll check out more RE games next year. I'm very interested in RE4 to be honest, or even OG RE2 as well. RE4 has that action that I kind of liked in RE3, so I might be interested in that, and then OG RE2, so I can see how it compares to Remix. So yeah, I think that's enough of the survival horrors for now. Let's go on to my two biggest hitters for this year. Now time for the two heavy hitters, shall we say, because yeah, as it turned out in 2024, I was going to play two of my favorite games of all time. So yeah, let's start talking about those, shall we? We'll start with Paper Mario 2, The Thousand Year Door, since it got a remake on the Switch. This is obviously a great thing to see. Mario RPGs are on the up and up. We got a Super Mario RPG remake as well, alongside Mario and Luigi making a return with Brothership. And in this game, yeah, this is definitely the cherry on top. At least on my end, because yeah, again, Thousand Year Door, one of my favorite games of all time. So seeing it get this remake, yeah, that was definitely quite the experience, shall we say, especially alongside my brother, who also loves this game so much. And yeah, we did play this game together too, so yeah. Obviously a lot of fun there as well. So anyway, what does Paper Mario 2 do so well to make it one of my favorite games of all time? I think the main reason is the battling. And yeah, you also got, the action commands. Those are always a Mario RPG staple, and they're obviously very fun to play around with. Mario himself is also very good in this game too, feels very powerful thanks to badges, alongside his partner, who I think, yeah, they definitely improved from Paper Mario 1, where yeah, they had their own HP, partner-specific badges, and the moves just feel more creative, and also even have some strong support niches too. So yeah, I feel like, yeah, partners are very, very well done in this game. And yeah, I didn't mention them, let's talk about badges, which are probably one of my favorite mechanics in any RPG, because of the customization potential. You potentially have a lot of BP to play with if you level it up so much, and yeah, there's a lot of different builds as well that can suit your playstyle. Generally speaking, me and my brother are Hyper Offense. And yeah, this is definitely one of the very fun ways to play this game. Because yeah, you have a lot of options to boost damage in this game, from Power Plus to Power Rush, and yeah, this can allow you to end battles in one turn, which is obviously very fun. So it's obviously fun when RPGs allow you to, end battles just so quickly and so efficiently. I think that's what it's all about, So yeah, at least with regular enemies, bosses, yeah, they should probably stick around for a little bit longer, but that's okay. So yeah, like I said, we're about Hyper Offense, but of course, we do have to sacrifice the HP, but that's also kind of a fun thing in its own right. Yeah, mainly how we like to level up is BP all the way, but also get a little bit of FP before we, go BP all the way, and then don't worry about HP because you don't really need it if you're killing things in one turn. Although, yeah, that low HP will bite you if you mess up your action cards. It also promotes more better playing in that regard as well, so yeah. So again, it is cool that, yeah, this game feels very different from the original, because of course Hyper Offense doesn't work as well. It can work well in Paper Mario 1, it's just that, yeah, you do have less BP, so actually killing all enemies in a single turn is a bit harder in that game. In fact, a lot harder to be honest. In Paper Mario 2 though, you could definitely do that. And yeah, there's different ways to approach it too. You could just go all in on damage and not worry about your FP, or yeah, you could think about your FP by putting on Flower Savers, Flower Finds, just so many interesting ways to, think about this, you can even go on the defensive too. You can even think about double dip to use items in battle as well more efficiently. Again, so much to think about when it comes to the badge system. That's one of the reasons why it's one of my favorite things in any RPG, to be honest. So yeah. So you got some very fun bio of this devious. Mario himself is also very fun to use as well. And yeah, you also got the amazing badge system to complement everything too. So yeah, gameplay wise, yeah, this game is easily one of my favorites. Like yeah, in all my playthroughs, it's like one of those games that yeah, I get better and better and better every time I play it and every time I learn something new. And yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why yeah, it became one of my favorites. Is just yeah, I can guarantee the fact that yeah, I can come back to Far 2 and try something new or learn about something new. It feels like one of those games to me. So yeah, probably one of the reasons why it's favorite, and also because yeah, it's just a very cheery game as well, very lighthearted as well. Plot has a very good mix of that, but also the seriousness too, especially in the end. And then yeah, the dialogue too is also really good as well. I feel like yeah, the remake isn't perfect because there's some weird changes at the beginning. But overall, though, I think actually the remake does do a good job, especially because yeah, it does change a few things. Vivian's a very good example, obviously. But yeah, overall though, the script does definitely hold up when compared to the original, and yeah, it might even be better in some regards too, despite, you know, maybe some bubbles at the beginning. So that's good. And yeah, presentation-wise, yeah, this game, other than the lower frame rate when compared to the GameCube original, it's better. Like, lighting is more dynamic, not lightning. The lighting is more dynamic, and the music has actually gone an upgrade too. And yeah, also outside that, yeah, visually, other things about it I like too. Not only is the lighting better, but also the sprites are more expressive too. Like, yeah, enemies have more animations now when you like enter battles and stuff. It's really cool stuff. So yeah, I think the only problems I have really with the presentation that some sound effects sound a little off than compared to the original. I think, like for example, the Piranha Plant sound a bit different, and it kind of throws me off. So yeah. Other than that, though, I think the presentation is very well done, especially the music, because that got actually quite a big upgrade. Because yeah, each chapter and even some areas in some chapters get their own battle themes, and that's a great improvement. Again, it's still like a similar battle theme to the OG, but then it gets like its own, like, you know, remix, I guess you could say, to fit each other. That's really cool. And yeah, Summers gets some really cool sounding battle themes. Chapter 7, the first battle theme you hear, that's awesome. So yeah, that's a good example. And yeah, even Chapter 8 does something cool too. You don't get a battle theme in Chapter 8, it's the dungeon theme instead. And it's always cool when an RPG does that. So yeah, and also yeah, the remix in general just really good too. So yeah, I was a big fan of this game's soundtrack. So yeah. And it's probably one of the better changes to this game too, I'd say, alongside the quality of life. There are two main things that this remake does for quality of life. It lowers the backtracking because of the addition of some new pipes. Chapter 4 is a good example. Chapter 4 never really bothered me, but I know it bothered a lot of people in the OG. But now, yeah, they add another pipe, so you're backtracking less. That's good. And then also, yeah, the pipe room makes things a lot more convenient as well. So yeah, it makes cycling a bit more fun too. So yeah, I can definitely appreciate that quality of life. And another thing too is actually the ashcomats. Some of them feel easier in my mind, and compared to Yoshi. So that obviously is a nice quality of life. Means that yeah, you don't need to break your controller in pieces if you're trying to get the super fast ashcomats. That's obviously appreciated. So yeah. Like I said, yeah, this game, yeah, I definitely see myself, you know, always enjoying this game till the end of my days, because again, yeah, I feel like it is kind of a hard RPG at the top, because yeah, I did talk about how much I love Trails from Zero, but Trails of Zero doesn't have the gameplay that this game has. This game feels not only unique to anything else, but also, you know, just so much fun, and also just, you know, just ties into my taste of high customization so well. And yeah, and outside of that, the plot does what it needs to, and the writing does what it needs to. This is a Mario RPG, obviously. It's going to be very lighthearted, but I do like, again, the mix of the serious moments alongside the more lighthearted moments. It's really well done stuff, so yeah. Like I said, this is a very hard RPG for other games to top. Some games definitely do get close, like Xenoblade, for example. Xenoblade 2 in particular, yeah, that game definitely was an important one, but of course, there's also the nostalgia too. I was playing the OG since 2010, so, or the early 2010s, I should be saying. So, of course, this game also got me into RPGs in general. So, yeah, again, there's so much going on for Paper Mario 2, and I'm glad that, yeah, this remake does what it needed to. It didn't change too much, but what it did change was extremely good and extremely positive. So yeah, I feel like, yeah, this is probably the best way to play it. It's obviously the more accessible way, but of course, the OG still has its place though. The higher frame rate and the glitches means that it is definitely more nicer to the speedruns. So yeah, and of course, yeah, you could definitely make the OG Paper Mario 2 look really good on Dolphin, but that's okay. Again, if you want something legit though, I think that, yeah, playing this on the Switch is the way to go, I feel like. So yeah, that was one of my favorite games of all time, and yeah, I'm definitely very happy that it was Paper Mario 2. I think it deserved it. Like, yeah, people praise this game a lot, and I feel like, yeah, I'm definitely one of those people, alongside having tons of nostalgia for it too. So yeah, this is definitely a game that, yeah, like I said, it's going to be hard for any other RPG to top it in my eyes, but like I said though, it is one of the games that, like I said, my favorite. Let's look at the other one, and this one may be even more important, if you could believe that. Now let's look at our last game for the day, Gran Turismo 4. So yeah, there's definitely gonna be a lot of nostalgia for this one. Because yeah, I credit Gran Turismo 4 for being the game that got me into gaming in the first place. Those times playing it on the PS2, when I finally started to understand what it was about, that's why I'm like, yes, I want to keep playing games for the rest of my life, so yeah. So of course, pretty landmark game for me there. Again, before Gran Turismo, I kind of just played games because I liked it. I don't really think much more than that. I just, drove around in a lot of racing games, and that was really it. But then, yeah, once Gran Turismo 4 showed me what gaming was really about, not just playing it, but also, completing it, progressing, and all that, that's when it clicked for me. And then, yeah, that's why, I still play games to this day. So, yeah. Again, Gran Turismo 4 is definitely one of the most important games for me. And this year was the year I finally 100%ed it. But, yeah, this is not a game I would recommend 100% for everyone, though. Because it's one of the longest games out there, probably. There's definitely a lot of reasons why, but, yeah, my playthrough, though, 300 hours? And it took 5 months. So yeah, this is the game that took up most of my time this year. But do I regret it? Nope. This is easily one of my favorite games of all time. Oh yeah, I did say that earlier, didn't I? But let's talk about why. Of course, the driving is the main thing. Gran Turismo 4 has a very good mix of realism and non-realism, I guess you could say. Because, yeah, cars definitely feel very realistic in this game, but at the same time, they have a decent amount of forgiveness. Especially because, yeah, you can tune them to help with that as well. Of course, a lot of people think about, understeer in this game a lot. Definitely, cars are quite understeer. But of course, thanks to tuning, though, that is less of a problem once you, start fiddling around with that. So, yeah. And yeah, I definitely did that, and yeah, that definitely improved my opinion of the driving by quite a bit once, I started to learn more aspects about the tuning, and yeah, tuning is pretty well detailed in this game too. Now you can think about, suspension, you can also think about your brake balance, you can think about assist too. Like yeah, most of the time, yeah, I could definitely drive with only light traction control. In one case, I could even drive a car without traction control, so that was cool. So yeah. And then you can even tune the gearbox too. There's a lot you could do in this game. when it comes to the driving to make it feel more comfortable for you. And that's obviously very appreciated. And of course, large amount of customization there got too. And yeah, I also really like the tracks in this game too. A good mix between the fictional Gran Turismo only tracks and also some real life tracks, including some of the very important ones, like the Nürburgring and the Circuit de la Sarthe. So yeah, there's obviously going to be some tracks that you'll never forget, especially after playing this game. So yeah, again, lots of good mix there. And yeah, there's even rallying too in this game, with some rally circuits you can have some fun with too, although the off-road driving isn't as good as Gran Turismo 3 though. You can still definitely get some enjoyment with the right car and the right stuff. So yeah, it's still alright. But, of course, that just, makes it a good driving game. What makes it one of my favorite games of all time, if not my favorite game of all time, alongside Mario 2. It's how the game progresses, and it's Gran Turismo mode. So, I will dub Gran Turismo 4 as having the best open world of any game ever. It's a little bit interesting to think about because you're not actually, walking around an open world like other games. But how it does do the open world is almost perfect in my eyes, actually. Here's the gist. So, your main objective is the Gran Turismo World Championship. That is what you need to do to get to any percent and see the credits. Or, of course, after that, you can go up to 100%. I would recommend that for everyone, but yeah, you can if you want. So, how do you reach the Gran Turismo World Championship? Well, what you need to do is you need to fill out the beginner league events and the amateur league events. And once you do that, you can go. Of course, you need to get the IA license too. And actually, the license test of this game, I actually kind of appreciated trying to chase up the gold one. Yeah, that was an interesting experience too, because this game pushed me in terms of difficulty in like no other game. Like, yeah, that really hard test in the A license with the R32 on Trial Mountain. Like, yeah, that definitely took me like 3 hours, I think, to finally get the gold on. But for some reason, I was never getting, super frustrated, I guess. I just wanted to keep going and going and going until I saw that gold. I'm not so sure why this game was the only one that felt that way to me with its license test. It's really strange, but again, maybe it has something to do with how the driving feels, I guess. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend going after all golds. You definitely need a reference, which I use to help you out. But once you do get those golds, it's super satisfying. You can get some interesting prize cards too, which definitely help. I think one of the other reasons why I really wanted to get that gold in the A license was the prize card, the Gran Turismo Skyline. That was a car I really, really wanted to get, so yeah. So there's that. So that's the license, but yeah, let's go back to the how to get to the Gran Turismo World Championship. So here's the thing though, it's completely up to you. Again, that's why I say it's kind of like an open world. Like, you need to complete those events, but those are not the only events, because you have regional events for America, Europe, and Japan. You have one make races for most of the manufacturers in this game. You also have 800 cars in this game too, so yeah, that's another reason why. You can definitely think about your progression in accordance with one of these cars, probably. As well, not all of them, but yeah, a lot of them though. There's a used car dealership too to even snag some good cars at a good price as well. Alongside, just straight up buying a new car if you have the money for it. And then you can even tune the cars so they can exceed their own parameters and also, take on events. Take on events that, they wouldn't be able to otherwise on their own. Or, you can even challenge yourself and not even use those upgrades and try to win anyways, so yeah. But yeah, back to different types of events. Yeah, I mentioned, there are one-make events, the regional events. There's also the special condition events, that's what the rallying is, as well as some tarmac rally circuits too. Those are definitely some great ways to get some very powerful prize cards early on. And yeah, that's another aspect too, Being an event fully will give you a prize card, and this can also further increase your progression. So much so that in a randomizer for Gran Turismo 4, I was able to beat the game with only prize cards. So that was awesome. Of course, that's a bit different when compared to only price cars in the original Gran Turismo 4. But still, it's very interesting to think about. Yeah, you could definitely progress the game in that way as well. And then, yeah, even as for driving missions too, these don't really count towards progression, towards the GT World Championship. But again, there's prize cards here, and you have some interesting stories too, from just passing a single opponent to the one lap magic, so you need to overtake some slower cars, but they get ahead. So yeah. So yeah, not only is the game very open, but there's also a large variety of gameplay as well, thanks to those driving missions too, alongside the different tracks you have to drive on, and yeah, of course, social conditions give you some off-road to deal with as well, and also snow as well. So yeah, large variety there, and of course that's also helped by, again, 800 cars roughly. So yeah. So yeah, you have a lot to think about when it comes to this game, and I think that's another reason why, yeah, it does hold a special place. Because, yeah, again, I am a fan of cars, and yeah, this game definitely made me a fan of a lot of cars. After seeing, how cool they were to drive, and yeah, even learning about some of their historical significance as well. So, yeah, there's that. And yeah, like I said, yeah, after GT World Championship is done, that's not it. You can go up to 100%. Again, I wouldn't recommend it for everyone because, again, 300 hours. There's 3 24-hour races in this game, so yeah. And the other endurance races aren't any such. But I'm pretty sure that, yeah, if you would find the time of all the endurance races in this game, that'll be 100 hours on its own. So yeah. So anyway, yeah. Like I said, yeah, this game was definitely one to overcome, but again, I felt like I really needed to, because again, this game did so much for me, so of course I wanted to repay it by 100%ing it. So yeah, that was what I was able to achieve in the end, and yeah. Not only that too, but also the support I got. Of course, I had to credit 2 of my best friends. One of them I mentioned my progress on, and they always seemed very interested in what I was getting up to, and also cheering me on for these really long endurance races, including the 24-hour ones. And of course, another friend who decided to jump on Discord and talk to me while I was doing some of these 24-hour events, as well as the Formula GT Championship at the end as well. And of course, yeah, getting to speak to other people, which was something I wasn't able to do before. That was also a very, I mean, yeah, I had my brother to speak to, obviously, but being able to speak with other people though, that was definitely a very special experience. So yeah, one I'm very grateful for that year. Transfer support definitely helped me with. I mean, even outside of that too, like for some of the other endurance races, or for most of the endurance races, should be saying, I was listening to some live streams too, on the side as well. That allowed me to learn about Persona 3 Reload, that game I kind of wish I played this year, but that's okay. Those were also very fun to listen to while I was, just driving. So yeah, there's also that. Again, a lot of special things happened while I was playing this, so yeah. Again, another reason why this game, just feels so near and dear to me as well. And then, yeah, when I did reach 100% cross that final first side, yeah, I let it all out. I think I started to tear up and stuff, because yeah, I did it. I did it. I beat the game that made me who I am today. And yeah, that's gonna be a moment that, yeah, it's gonna be hard to top in my eyes, I think. So yeah. Yeah, this game's special, right? It probably is my favorite game of all time because, again, everything that went into that 100% playthrough, well, I guess most of what went into that 100% playthrough felt like so much. And yeah, what I was able to overcome with this game too, yeah. There's just, yeah, so much to think about that was positive when it comes to, just driving in this game. Alongside, having one of my favorite progression systems in any game, and also having some very fun gameplay with the driving, yeah. It's gonna be hard to top this game, I think, so yeah. But yeah, Gran Turismo 4, yeah, it's not a perfect game, obviously. There are definitely some problems with it. Like, yeah, I guess the PAL version could be one thing, because that's why I play. It running at 50 FPS means the physics aren't as accurate to NTSC. It also doesn't have I believe it's 1080i setting. That was kind of removed. I can't remember if it's that or 4x3. Well, I can't remember that. But yeah, basically some graphical settings are missing in the PAL version. And then also, yeah, some events aren't very well designed, like the Speedster Trophy, for example, but it's kind of BS difficulty. But yeah, again, Grand Theft Auto 4 is probably the game that's closest to a perfect game for me. I don't think any other game is as close in my eyes, despite, again, it does have its problems, like I said. No game is perfect. I think, yeah, Grand Theft Auto 4 is another game that kind of shows you that. But yeah, it gets very damn close in my eyes. So yeah, again, special game for me. And yeah, if my words encourage you to maybe give it at least a look, then yeah, I think yeah, that just just goes to show that yeah, my passion for this game, I guess, yeah, really showed through. So yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be very hard to top B in that game. But of course, I think it's a bit bittersweet too, because I don't have a way to play Gran Turismo 5. And while it's not as good as Gran Turismo 4, I still want to, check out the rest of this series, even maybe Gran Turismo 7, a game I bypass just because it doesn't have the progression I'm looking for, but it still has fun driving at the end of the day. So yeah, again, this series, yeah, I played through 1, 2, 3, and 4, enjoyed all of them, and then finally got to, bookmark things by playing one of my favorite games in the series, but also one of my favorite games of all time. So yeah, after that little sob story, I guess, let's end this video now. So to cap up 1024 on this video as well, I decided to do something a little bit fun. So on Backlog, you can basically put down what your favorite game from this year was in different categories. The catch is, it has to be games that came out in 2024. And as you may have noticed, yeah, I didn't do that. The only new game we even talked about this time that got its own full section was Paper Mario 2. I think the only other game was Sonic X Shadow, wasn't it? So yeah. So instead, we're just going to be looking at the games I talked about today, and then we're going to see where they rank for each category. The only one I can't really rank is Best Multiplayer, because pretty much all these games are single player, so I guess if you really want to count that, it might be Paper Mario 2, because I play alongside my brother and we were some of the controls between each other. But yeah, I wouldn't really count that if I was me, so yeah, let's go over some of these. Best narrative, I'd say again, Trails from Zero. It also got best soundtrack too. Again, like I said, I really love the plot of this game. It ends on one of the highest of highs in any RPG, to be honest. The characters are really good. Again, I'm just kind of repeating what I said earlier, but again, definitely deserves that title from the games I played. Again, there wasn't much, but I guess Sim might have been, good competition because I finished that earlier, but yeah, again, I don't think it was going to beat just how well done Trails of Zero is. And again, soundtrack, again, I gushed on how good this soundtrack is. And I probably, again, played quite a bit of it throughout this play, or this video I should be saying, so yeah, it definitely deserves that. And then for Best Art Direction, this is a bit difficult, but I decided on RE2, and the main reason why is, again, the fact that it was the PC version and my brother has a pretty powerful one, yeah, it definitely goes to show just how good a game can look, especially nowadays. Of course, Paper Mario 2 could also have gone this too, but I don't know. I think, yeah, Paper Mario 2 is definitely good. It's definitely very close, but I think, yeah, how RE2 does everything, yeah, that game is very impressive on how it looks. So, yeah, I'd say it probably wins. Again, it is best art direction, not best graphics. So again, it could have definitely been Paper Mario 2 as well. But yeah, I think Resident Evil edges it out. I think. Because again, not only does it look very good, but again, how the characters are designed, the enemies are designed, the scenery as well, I say it's very, very well done. I think I'll give it that. And of course, the big one, I said, say for last best gameplay, and yeah, considering that last section, it has to be Gran Turismo 4. Again, it could be very close with Paper Mario 2 once again, but considering that Grudges 4 has my fear of aggression in any game, and also takes a genre that I'm not like the biggest fan of, but makes it one of my favorite things ever. Like, yeah, it's an open game that somehow became one of my favorite games. So, like, yeah, it takes, being very open, and then, just, combine that with amazing progression as well in my eyes, then, yeah, it had to be best game player, and then, of course, the driving's also really good too. And then, yeah, it should be no surprise that, yeah, because of that, Gran Turismo 4 is my game of the year. Again, it's going to be very hard to top Gran Turismo 4 in the next coming years in terms of, significance as well. Like, considering everything that happened once again, yeah, I don't think any other game deserves the Medal of Honor of Game of the Year, I feel like. So, yeah. If you're talking games that actually came out this year, again, I haven't played like anything, but Metaphor would probably be what I choose, just because again everyone's saying it's so good. Technically, I haven't seen any gameplay of it though, so that's a bit of a sus opinion. So maybe Preserve Reload, or even Vengeance maybe, even though I haven't seen any gameplay of that. Yeah. Yeah, again, yeah, maybe I should have played more games from this year, but I was busy, alright, so it's okay. But anyway, let's talk about some other great things. I guess let's look to the future actually. I think I'll talk about some of the other great things that did in 2024 at the end as well. There's a lot to look forward to next year. My brother's going to be playing the Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's going to be a very fun game to watch, so yeah, can't wait for that. And then, yeah, at some point, he'll probably take on Rebirth as well, since we know that's going to be coming to PC as well. Xenoblade X is going to come March 2025. Obviously, Xenoblade release is going to be quite a big deal for the two of us. We'll see if the only thing is that, yeah, my brother said he may not have much time to play it, but hey, we'll see how it goes. Okay, I'll be interested to see how this game, turns out, I guess. Xenoblade X is definitely very different from Xenoblade 1, 2, and 3, so yeah, I'll be interested to see how this goes and how to experience it too. Maybe I'll have a shot at it as well. Then, of course, Trails, we have Sky First Chapter, the remake obviously, coming fall 2025. Most likely though, Cold Steel 3 will be the next Trails game after I beat Azure. Because again, I want to continue the plot, and again, I already kind of know what happened to the plot of First Chapter, so yeah. But I can obviously see this being a release that all my friends are interested in, so yeah. I definitely think it's worth mentioning here. As for racing games, next year looks pretty decent actually. There's two main games I want to highlight here. Night Runners and Tokyo Extreme Racers reboot, I guess. So, Night Runners is coming May 2025. Again, it's also a Japanese street racing game. It definitely seems very interesting. I definitely want to watch a playthrough of it when it releases. Because again, at the moment, it's demo. It's interesting. I quite like it. I'm not so sure it's a game I really want to play myself. I at least want to watch a playthrough and see how others feel about it. And of course, Tokyo Extreme Racer, we did get some gameplay of this on Genki's YouTube channel, and it looks very nostalgic actually. They definitely seem to be taking a lot of inspiration from Tokyo Extreme Racer 3, so I can't wait to see how that turns out. And yeah, I really hope I get to play as well and get to show just how good of a game it is, so yeah, hopefully that can happen. Then there was the Game Awards, where, yeah, we got some interesting announcements. I think the two main ones I want to highlight here, because I think they're the best ones in my community post as well, I made about the Game Award announcements, was the Okami sequel. We don't know when that's going to come out, but yeah, that's big right there. Like, yeah, I'm not so sure who's actually working on it. Apparently it's saying that Kamiya's working on it, I'm pretty sure. I can't 100% confirm that, but because yeah, it's interesting to figure out because actually no. It's again, if Kamiya is working on this, like I've been hearing about on the newsletters, then yeah, that'd be cool. Because yeah, I'm pretty sure he worked on the original, didn't he? Again, I could be misremembering this completely, or maybe look at some dodgy info, but that's okay. But regardless though, this is definitely very exciting because I love the original Okami. It got that HD version, which I played on the Switch. That was a very fun time, very memorable moments right there, so yeah, I really like that playthrough. And it'll be cool to see what a sequel does. Of course, there's also a Komiden. My brother played that on the DS way long ago. I haven't played it myself though, so yeah. So yeah, again, this is again, for most people, this would be their best answer from that Game Awards, from the Game Awards, obviously. But for me though, I think there has to be Screamer. And you might be wondering what the hell is Screamer? Well, Milestone made this racing game called Screamer in the late 90s on the PC. It's actually pretty well liked as an arcade racer. And now they're bringing it back, but they're definitely redoing this though, because now we have this anime like art style, we have a story driven plot, and a sci fi setting. So yeah, this game is promising a lot. Not sure if it's going to deliver all of that, but the trailer does make me very hyped. I definitely recommend having a look at it. And like I was saying in my Giving Post, yeah, this is definitely what I'm looking forward to. It is 2026 though, but yeah, if it's good, now that's going to be interesting because yeah, this could be the game that is the big shot in the arm for the racing game genre. Because this game wants to be different, and I feel like racing games are playing it too safe. So then, yeah, they only really appeal to people who already like the genre. I feel like it definitely feels like a very niche genre nowadays. But I feel like, yeah, if Screamer does do very well, maybe more people will be interested in the genre, especially with taking so much risk with everything different about it. Of course, it does remind that yeah, maybe I should also check out another story-driven racing game, also combined with RPG, Racing Lagoon. Maybe that's something I also think about next year as well. And of course, Fire Emblem. Will we get Fire Emblem next year? At least some news would be nice, but yeah. Because yeah, it has now been roughly 2 years since Engage release, I'm pretty sure, so we should be getting at least some news soon. Will it be an FE4 remake? Everyone's, gonna say when FE4 remake at this point, but that's okay. So yeah. Again, that'll be something to think about, obviously. But yeah, look out for that, because again, Fire Emblem is a pretty big thing on my channel, so that's obviously why I mentioned it. There'll definitely be some other big releases from Nintendo once we do get to see the first Direct from next year, so yeah. So now let's end off with, yeah, everything else great that happened in 2024. Again, like I said, I think the main thing this year, getting to interact more with my friends. Like yeah, trying on Backlog as well, getting to see what one of my friends is getting up to with his own games. That was very interesting about because we did play some games. We did have play some similar games. He also played Trails of Zero, he also played Paper Mario 2. So yeah, it was also very interesting to discuss what he was saying because yeah, he has some very detailed reviews. So they were obviously quite the joy to read, and also the other games he played too. I got to learn a lot about genres I wouldn't really think about otherwise. So yeah. And I'd be very happy about that. I'll definitely, keep looking out for those in the next year. And of course, there's the Discord server where yeah, I talk to all my friends basically, and yeah, we also get to play some. We also get to play some games together too. Like yeah, at the moment, yeah, I'm playing Eternal Punishment alongside, and my friend is watching, I should be saying, and then yeah, it's always very fun to showcase that game and also talk about it too. Definitely some of the most fun I've had along like yeah, just playing games with other people just makes things so much more fun. That's I guess one reason why I did want to make my channel, because yeah, being able to show my gameplay to other people, yeah, that's definitely one big reason. Again, even if the channel didn't do so great, I'm still happy that again, didn't grow as much. It definitely slowed down. In fact, I would say it didn't even grow at all, or even grew downwards, but that's okay. Again, though, it's fine because again, I'm still enjoy making videos and still enjoy making playthroughs, and I still enjoy reading comments. There's a lot of great comments this year as well, so yeah, to read as well. So yeah, again, despite the child not growing as I like, it is what it is. Again, you can't always like yeah, I definitely hit my highs from last year. I feel like it's hard to describe, but yeah, basically yeah, I'm not too upset obviously because again, the views, the subscribers, I feel like that's secondary to what's really important about making videos. Of course, talking about games, being able to share them with other people, and also being able to share my experience, and then also being able to read cards as well. I think that's what's most important. So yeah. And then yeah, that's kind of what this year kind of teaches me as well. So yeah, that's definitely something I need to think about moving onwards. And hopefully, yeah, 2025, maybe we'll see some more channel growth at least. Or I keep learning what I want to do as well. Who knows? Maybe I even branch out next year as well. That'll also be very cool. So yeah, I'm not too worried about the channel future at the moment. So yeah. And who knows, maybe I'll make some more, positive changes in my own life as well. That's something I definitely want to think about for next year as well, because yeah, I'm definitely in a happy place when it comes to, gaming and stuff. Now I just need to, sort out everything else. So yeah. I am an adult now, so I need to obviously think about my responsibilities. So yeah. Anyway though, so there's that, and yeah, I guess I can mention I already mentioned this, but yeah, Charles Major, that's probably gonna be one of the first games I beat from 2025. I'm taking a break from Clover Rally 2.0 because of some save bar shenanigans, and I'll be a bit more careful when I next get back to it. I may also enable analog control too. Maybe that'll make my life a little bit easier because the game is rough, but it's gonna be even more rough when it comes to experts. So yeah. But yeah, maybe I'll beat that, but there are definitely some other racing games I'm thinking about other than the ones I just mentioned. Again, Tokyo Extreme Race is a Steam release, so I might not be able to play that right away. If I'm able to somehow, if for some reason my brother allows me to get it on his own desktop or something like that, that'd be cool. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen, but I guess we'll see. That's definitely one of the main Steam releases at the moment, but there could be others. We'll see, obviously. Yeah, I'm basically rambling at this point, so yeah, that's basically everything I want to talk about this year. For this year, and hopefully, yeah, like I said, not only is 2025 a good year for myself, but it's also a good year for everyone watching as well. And yeah, again, hope next year is also a good one as well. And yeah, I also wish all the best from everyone who supported me as well, all the nice comments as well, and everyone who's taken the time to talk to me as well. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate what it means to, speak about all these games from all these different genres as well. Being able to learn about different games too. It's a important experience, I must say. So yeah, because yeah, I love to learn, obviously, and learning about different games, different people, all that. Definitely, definitely an eye-opening experience. So yeah, here's to a lovely Here's the end to a lovely 2024 for myself, at least. A positive 2024, I should be saying. And yeah, let's hope for the best when it comes to 2025.